How you guys doing? In this episode, I unlocked the Runepouch. Check it out. All right, let's roll. Cracking a beer, baby. So this first fight, actually, I had trouble figuring out. Yeah, it was this guy. There we go. There's that beer. Um, yeah, I had trouble figuring out who I was fighting here at first. So one thing I'm learning with all this stuff, or rather, one thing I'm reminded of is the significance of just like repetition in these things, right? So like, oh boy, here we go. So for a lot of these fights, first of all, I'm only showing fights that I've won for no particular reason. There's countless losses I could have posted. I just thought this was more interesting. Um, yeah, but I felt when I was playing, I was like, man, I'm sucking, or um, or I would feel like, oh, that dude I just killed, he kind of sucked. It didn't really count. Uh, there's one of those in this. And one thing I'm realizing is actually like 2 years ago or whenever I first did LMS, like I wouldn't have beat half these people, right? And so now 2 years later that I'm back and trying to unlock my rune pouch again, um, actually I've noticed like significant improvement. In fact, I've actually noticed significant improvement over these 3 videos, just forcing myself to play and then also to watch the recording, watch the fights, look at the mistakes I've made, and also I took a lot of advice from Blitz. Shout out to Blitz in the comments from I think the second video. Had a lot of good helpful stuff. One thing I've been doing, I've been trying to match prayers, but one thing he pointed out, and also actually, I forget, there's an Australian YouTuber, I forget his name, who pointed this out. But the max hit of a mage cast is so much lower than a ranged or melee cast. If you're not on point with those switches, those prayer switches, the odds of you taking a range shot are so much higher that it's almost not worth trying to catch that mage. I don't know that that's totally true, but certainly like for the starting of the fights, like I found that to be really helpful. Um, and the other thing I noticed about this particular video is I felt like I was noticing like when people weren't switching. I had a couple good like fakes in there, throwing in the staff or the bow or the melee weapon or whatever, the whip. Um, yeah, and I felt like I was actually thinking, which isn't saying much. Usually you're just kind of like spamming trying to keep up. The other thing I've noticed is when I'm doing LMS, it feels like I'm doing everything really quickly. But then you watch the footage back and you're like, actually, my switches were hella slow. I'm way behind. Um, I feel like they weren't that bad on this one. But I don't know if I feel like staying on ancients, like using vengeance to me, just doesn't. I feel like I'd rather stay on ancients personally, but whatever. I don't know anything about that stuff. So, anyways, I don't remember this fight. Um, but I'll take the dub. Um, oh, you know what? This is my. Oh yeah, this is actually the furthest I've ever gotten. I get down to the last two. So I have 4 fights. I lose the final fight in the. I guess you could call it the semifinals or whatever. No, actually they'd be the finals. And man, like the difference, I legitimately won the first two, and then the second one, sorry, I legitimately won the first two. The third one, the guy was just like not prey switching. He was just camping mage. I honestly don't know what he was doing. Um, he was camping mage, and then I just dropped him. Oh, it must have been the second fight because I think it's this guy. Um, yeah, so if you're intimidated by LMS and you're trying to unlock that rune pouch, I encourage you to just check it out because like you're gonna get better if you keep trying. Watch YouTube videos. If you can, watch your own footage, um, and you'll get better. Like it's just how these sorts of things work, right? Like any skill you're devoting yourself to, you're gonna improve. Uh, it's so long as you do it mindfully, right? You're not just floating through space. Yeah, but this guy was just camping mage. I honestly don't know what he was doing. But sometimes when you like take a couple big hits at first, it kind of takes the wind out of you. And at least like if you're me, um, it's almost like, is it even worth wasting the time trying to eat to the end of this fight only to lose? When I know I'm probably going to lose. I can see if you're like a good PKer, actually like pushing through is probably worth it. But eventually I just resorted to using my special attack here because I was like, this guy, he's not changing prayers, he's not changing attack styles, so what's even the point? So I only include this fight. It's not that interesting, but I include it because if you're trying to unlock your rune pouch, like you're going to get people like this, you're going to get AFKers, you're going to get bots that suck. Most bots these days are good. I've realized there are quite a few bots in LMS, but it's not just bots. Um, it can be quite frustrating though. So, when like you feel like you could win a few more fights, but you keep getting put with these bots or people with AHK, can be kind of frustrating. Here I'm running off to locate. Oh no, that's the next round. Yeah, so I think I win this fight. Okay. Yeah, so I would just encourage you, like, don't be intimidated by it. There's no risk to doing LMS. It's pretty straightforward. I've really enjoyed it. Uh, but yeah, this fight was okay. And yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff, like the first fight for this round, I felt like was really good. I felt good about it. But really, what that means is it felt like it was someone with relatively similar skill level putting an effort, and it made it a fun fight. And it was nice to win one like that because usually it's either you get your butt kicked by these people, or you steamroll someone because they're a bot or because they're not switching or whatever. And maybe like a third of the kills I get are because we actually fought and I was better, right? Usually it's they're better than me or they're just not playing, right? So, um, yeah, so that was super fun. And honestly, like I felt like I improved. I felt like my switches were more on point, still pretty bad. Um, I could be better with freezes. That is another thing I'm noticing. Is like we're just kind of standing here switching between ranged and mage, which I suppose is fine. Sorry, ranged and melee, which I suppose is fine because I'm winning. But I feel like I should work on incorporating mage more and trying to control their position. In terms of other like areas I want to improve, I don't know what they call it, but when they stand under you, should probably try to start doing that because it's just a good way to win fights. But on the other hand, there's part of me that's like, is it worth exerting the mental effort and energy to do that instead of focusing on my switches, making sure my switches are on point, and then working on stepping under, right? Um, and then this last fight, I kind of get my ass kicked. So, but I end up running around because I notice it's three guys left, and then something spawns at the Moser settlement. I literally tell these guys, so I'm like so happy. I'm like, my first time making it this far. Which isn't true. I have won LMS before, but never based on skill. It was back when there were a ton of bots, and you needed like 2 kills to win. So like these guys are taking it out, and I'm just excited I made it this far. Oh gosh. Uh, yeah, but I mean when I fight this, yeah. So here you see I get the loot crate. I'm like, might as well go grab that while these two knuckleheads are fighting. But yeah, I mean there's such a huge skill gap. Is something I'm noticing. It's like the difference between like a good PKer and someone like me is astronomically high. But you don't really need, in order to get LMS points, you don't really need um, to be good. You just need to be better than one person per round, right? And so that's how you get points. And inevitably, you're just going to keep improving. I think I had 3 or 4 rounds in this set of points, um, where I got 3 kills, which I was super happy with. Um, yeah, and here I am gearing up. I only include this because I figure I should show 1 loss, and this is also the last match before I unlock my Runepouch. So, I'm trying my darndest, but this guy just is significantly better than me. So, it is what it is. I'm happy to have made it this far. Happy he didn't call me any slurs or any mean names. That was huge. So, thank you very much for that. Um, yeah, and at this point, I was like, this is not going my way. So, but I figure I fight till the end. You know, go down trying, and I'm dead. There you go, 5.76, and I almost unlocked the looting bag, which I didn't need. There's my Runepouch. Thanks for watching, guys. I might do more of these. I don't know. I'm a little. I mean, I didn't even do that much LMS, and I'm kind of burnt out. So we'll see. Peace out.